Ball State students may see some curriculum changes. Good evening and welcome to NewsCenter at 5:30. I'm Jim Vandy.
And I'm Nicole Samuelson. The Student Government Association discusses the changes this afternoon. NewsCenter's Rob Coles is live at the news desk to tell us more. It's tonight's top story.
Thanks, Jim and Nicole. The Ball State University core curriculum may be in the process of being changed, but faculty and students have different views on the ways to change the courses to better suit the students. While most Ball State students spent this afternoon out enjoying the weather, a group of faculty members met to discuss changes in the university core curriculum. The curriculum has not had major renovations in nearly 20 years. Faculty members discussed core competencies today rather than individual classes. Some students felt the core curriculum had a good basis but needs to be modified.
It's just those classes are there to prove, you know, that you're not going to slack off, that you're going to actually go to class and take responsibility and stuff. I mean, I'm never going to use calculus again in my life, but I went to class, did the work.
The faculty wants incoming students to be more involved early on. They said they could be able to achieve this with the possibility of seminars for new students in the new curriculum. At this point, a little more than half the Ball State freshmen graduate. Jim and Nicole?
Thanks, Rob. Well, Michael Haney-Wells joins us with a look at our first forecast today. What a beautiful day.
Today and yesterday were both fabulous, and it looks like tomorrow's going to be another good day. But let's take a look at Wisconsin today. They're under moderate risk right now for severe thunderstorms. That has been reduced because it was a high risk. But the main thing right now is there's a few thunderstorms popping up around Dallas, Texas, and they're under tornado watch right now. So hopefully they don't get anything too bad out of it.
Hopefully. We're very fortunate to
right
have
now,
such a nice day.
But Thursday.
Well, thanks, Michael. Dangerous fumes released from a vehicle caused a Newcastle Elementary School to evacuate this morning. Deputy Adam Bowman pulled over 21-year-old Amber Garner of Springport near Westwood Elementary School. He and Sergeant Gary Wilson found anhydrous ammonia in the car, an extremely hazardous chemical frequently used to produce methamphetamine. Both officers were treated at the hospital for inhalation. Police evacuated about 25 students at the elementary school. Garner has been charged on a warrant for failure to appear. A passenger in the car remains in custody for questioning.
An Anderson woman has taken area children with dyslexia under her wing to help them overcome their difficulties. Marissa Bernard has started the Joshua Literacy Center, a nonprofit organization that provides education services for children with dyslexia. Bernard is tutoring 17 students and training 4 adults to do her job. Bernard named the center of her son who suffers from the disease.
Indiana is seeking a $16.7 million federal grant to help the state's hospitals and laboratories prepare for the threat of bioterrorism and disease outbreaks. With the help of Governor Frank O'Bannon, this new grant would go towards state and local health agencies. This grant will also fund about 50 positions, including a program coordinator and more lab technicians. This grant comes from a fund that was made available nationwide to health departments and hospitals after the September 11th attacks.
Indiana assessors say farmers and business owners will not be forced to make up tax money refunded to owners of dream homes. According to the Indiana Supreme Court, one extravagant home can be valued at much higher level than another. State officials based their valuation of the home on its construction cost and applied a math formula that was not in the state's former property tax manual. The property tax manual previously was found to be unconstitutional. The new assessment manual offers more specifics on assessing luxury homes.
A former church seized by the government is likely to become home to one of Indianapolis's 4 new charter schools. U.S. Marshals took the property last year to settle a $6 million federal tax judgment after the Indianapolis Baptist Temple stopped withholding taxes from its employees. Now, Christel House Incorporated is in negotiations to buy the 25-acre property. If approved, the site will become home to Christel House Academy.
McDonald's will no longer be the only place where you can find the Hamburglar. Northern Indiana police say a burglar robbed 2 Valparaiso homes and walked away with over 500 pounds of beef and other meats. One resident told police that someone entered his garage Sunday and hauled pounds of lamb and ground beef worth $500. A second resident was robbed of $100 worth of deer steaks and chicken.
An automaker announces a recall. We'll tell you who when NewsCenter returns.
And we'll tell you the latest of a possibility of peace in the Middle East. Stay tuned.
Secretary of State Colin Powell met with Israel's Prime Minister today and is set to meet with Palestinian leaders tomorrow. These meetings are helping to move forward with efforts to bring an end to the violence in the Middle East. Elaine Quijano has the latest from Washington.
Okay, guys, we're going to come back. Just apologize for technical difficulties.
Guys, the package did not work correctly. Hopefully we'll get it on later during the show. In other news, the bodies of the 4 American soldiers who were killed in Afghanistan Monday arrived at an air base in Germany today. The Pentagon identified the soldiers as 27-year-old Staff Sergeant Brian Craig of Texas, 28-year-old Staff Sergeant, Justin Galweski of Kansas, Sergeant Jamie Moggins, who is also from Kansas, and 30-year-old Sergeant First Class Daniel Romero of Colorado. These soldiers were killed during an explosive clearing operation on Monday. The accident is still under investigation.
Well, if you own a Jeep, you should listen to the latest announcement. Chryslers are calling more than 1 million Jeeps that have 4.0-liter engines. The company says although there have been no accidents or injuries reported, the recall is a preventative measure to reduce debris buildup in the engine. The debris could potentially cause a fire. Chrysler is only recalling 2000 to 2002 Jeep Wranglers, 2000-2001 Cherokees, and 1999 to 2002 Grand Cherokees, all with 4.0-liter engines.
The Supreme Court has struck down a congressional ban on virtual child pornography, saying that all those images fall under the First Amendment protections. Pornographers, as well as mainstream filmmakers, argued against a ban that was made in 1996 because a sex scene depicted in a movie could be a crime.
A sick postal worker caused a post office in Davie, Florida to be evacuated. The Florida post office was evacuated when a worker became sick while he was handling some mail. The worker then isolated himself in a restroom with 3 other nearby workers. Officials say the worker suffered from nausea and dizziness, yet the cause is still unknown. A hazardous chemical team is now checking the building.
After undergoing surgeries, chemotherapy, and radiation treatments, Robert Urich has lost his battle with cancer. Urich developed a rare form of cancer which attacks the body's joints. At the age of 55, the Emmy-winning actor died this morning at a California hospital. Urich was best known for his starring roles in Spencer for Hire and Vegas. He became very active in raising money for cancer research after announcing his own disease in 1996.
There still has not been a winner of the 7-state big game lottery. New Jersey lottery players are crowding the lottery stands in hopes of winning the $325 million prize. Due to the high odds of winning, 1 in 76 million, experts are saying that it is highly unlikely that one person will claim the entire jackpot. The drawing will take place at 11 o'clock tonight. And Michael, like you said, we might be getting some rain
Yes,
soon?
what Wisconsin's supposed to be getting today, it's associated with a cold front, and as that moves into Indiana, we could get some severe thunderstorms as well late Thursday and early Friday. But I'll give you complete details coming up next. Good evening and welcome back to the News Center. Here's the almanac for today. Today's high was 83, which is well above normal of this time of year by 22 degrees. The low today was 62, which is over 20 degrees above the normal low of this time of year. And sunrise tomorrow morning is at 6:01 a.m. Here's the highs around the state today. You see Indianapolis came in at 85, the same as Fort Wayne and South Bend. Muncie and Terre Haute both came in at 83, and Evansville is 84. Northern part of the state was a little warmer, which is kind of odd, but it happens sometimes. Here's current conditions. A few clouds are rolling in. They're upper level clouds. The temperature is 79 degrees and the wind is southwest at 12 miles an hour. And here you can see the clouds down here in Missouri starting to move up. There's some in Illinois, but they're going to be upper level as there's a real weak cold front moving through, and there's going to be some cloud cover. But a little bit of rain in the morning could come with this, but not much expected. And here's the storms that are popping up down in Texas I was talking about. They do have a tornado watch down there right now, but Wisconsin's the state that was under a severe or a high risk of thunderstorms earlier today, and they've reduced that to moderate, but they don't have any storms popping up yet, but it is expected. But look at Indiana, it's pretty clear, and tomorrow we'll get some clouds moving in as the cold fronts push across. Here's the radar. You can see the storms here. This is a little old radar. There are some fresh storms popping up down here around Dallas, Fort Worth area, but once again, Indiana, clear of rain and clouds. Here's tonight's lows. This is 60. I have it at like 68, which average this time of year is only, for high is 61. So our low temperature is going to be 7 degrees above what our average high temperature is. Here's tomorrow highs, right around 70. It's could be pushing 80. I think I have it at 76, which is a little cooler than today, but this weekend it's going to be even cooler as the cold fronts push through. Here's a little weak frontal boundary that's going to be pushing the clouds in overnight and tomorrow morning and keep a few clouds around tomorrow, but this cold front out here is going to be pushing in late Thursday, and we could get some thunderstorms like Thursday about 5-ish, and it continue until Friday morning. And here's Thursday. You can see the cold front's pushing in, and this frontal system will be an uplift for the air parcels, and the buoyancy will take over and cause some thunderstorms. Here's tonight. Clouds will be moving in, the low of 68, which is pretty warm for a low temperature. Tomorrow morning, clouds will be around, but you'll still have some sun out there, a high of 76. And there's your 3-day. Thursday, late Thursday, that's late Thursday, you have a chance of thunderstorms, and early morning Friday, the thunderstorms. But as the cold front moves through, temperature's going to be a little cooler, but that's still close to the average of this time of year. So it's going to be rather nice for the weekend again.
Definitely nothing to complain about. We've
Not
been so
really.
spoiled, but
Yes, it's been nice.
not too bad. Well, thank you, Michael.
Hey, good deal, Mike. Thanks a lot. People having heart attacks are better off getting immediate treatment with artery opening angioplasty and other coronary interventions rather than clot-dissolving drug therapy.
That is the conclusion of a study in this week's Journal of the American Medical Association. Dr. Barry Kaufman has more.
For someone like Charles Moore, immediate treatment for a heart attack falls into two main categories. Depending on the capability of the hospital, heart attacks are treated either with clot-dissolving drugs or coronary intervention, most commonly balloon angioplasty.
The doctor told me I was having a heart attack, lay down, and they started putting IVs in me and whatnot, and they began their treatment.
Charles Moore had a balloon angioplasty to open the heart-attacking blockages in one of his coronary arteries. Unfortunately, only about 1/3 of patients like him go to hospitals that perform coronary intervention. A major study comparing coronary intervention against clot-dissolving drugs found those having angioplasty and other coronary interventions had a lower rate of death, stroke, and recurrent heart attack than those receiving thrombolytic or clot-dissolving drug therapy.
Primary angioplasty is superior to thrombolytic therapy for the treatment of patients with heart attacks. The beneficial outcomes are durable past 6 months, and I think it's incumbent upon us, upon state governments, in particular state departments of health, to try to increase the access of the better form of therapy for the greatest number of patients.
The report in the Journal of the American Medical Association by Johns Hopkins cardiologist Dr. Thomas Aversano and his colleagues notes the community hospital selected for this study had neither cardiac surgery or angioplasty programs.
Our institutions did no angioplasty of any sort until they began this clinical trial. So what surprised us, I think, a bit was that hospitals that were subjected to a formal primary angioplasty development program could have outcomes that were so good.
For his part, Charles Moore, now nearly 6 months post-angioplasty, is very grateful.
The procedure and the speed in which it was done, I'm sure, because of its availability, made all the difference in my particular case.
An editorial in the same JAMA issue concludes the evidence from this and previous studies make it clear that heart attack patients benefit when community hospitals make a strong commitment to provide coronary intervention. The same editorial urges a rethinking of the emergency medical response system for transporting heart attack patients. Rather than going to the nearest hospital, paramedics should transport the patient to the nearest hospital that provides angioplasty. I'm Dr. Barry Kaufman reporting.
Well, thank you, Barry. All right, well, Corey, the weather was nice out today. The fields were filled. Hey, can we hear a little bit more about the weather? I mean, about the sports, excuse me.
Well, baseball's going to be having some great weather tonight. The softball team and the baseball team are both in action tonight. I'll have more on that when NewsCenter 43 returns. The Ball State baseball team will return to the Diamond for the first time since Sunday when they take on Notre Dame in South Bend. The Cardinals will have 5 games this week and will look to win their 20th game this week. After tonight's game, the Cardinals will host Kent State in 4 games, starting with 1 game Friday and a 7-inning and 9-inning doubleheader Saturday and a lone contest Sunday. Kent State is the East Division leader and leads the all-time series between the two. The Cardinals swept this week's Player and Pitcher of the Week awards for the MAC. Brian Bullington was named Pitcher of the Week. Matt Decker was named Player of the Week. Bullington is 23 strikeouts away from the MAC career record. He should pitch at least once this week. He's averaging 14 strikeouts per game. If he pitches twice, he could break the record by Saturday. Moving up, that is what the Ball State softball team did this weekend, moving from 5th place to 3rd place in the MAC West Division with a sweep of Eastern Michigan. The Lady Cards have won 5 straight conference contests. They continue their play tonight in a non-conference game against Illinois and then play 2 games at Miami this weekend. On Saturday, the Ball State men's volleyball team will begin their quest for the MIVA tournament title and a bid for the NCAA men's volleyball championship. The Cardinals last week won their first regular season title since 1997. Coach Joe Walton said the team has accomplished one of their goals and now they will look for 2 more. The Cardinals will play host to number 8 seed Mercyhurst in a 7 p.m. match on Saturday. Tickets for the MIV quarterfinals will be $3 for children and students and $5 for adults. 2 years ago, David Carr was worried about being the starting quarterback at Fresno State. Now on Saturday, he will become the first overall draft pick of the Houston Texans and the first pick of the 2002 NFL Draft. Today, Carr and the Texans agreed in principle to a 7-year deal worth $46 to $60 million. Most of the money can be earned from bonuses. Carr will receive $11 million in the signing bonus. Last season, he led the Bulldogs to an 11-3 record, completing over 60% of his passes for 4,839 yards, 46 touchdowns to just 9 interceptions. Carr will be the first quarterback taken from Fresno State since Trent Dilfer. He can't sign the contract before the draft if the Management Council of the NFL allows it. This would allow the Carolina Panthers to also begin searching for the number 2 selection in the draft. Don't tell the Cleveland Cavaliers or Indiana Pacers they don't have anything to play for tonight. The Pacers are fighting for their playoff lives tonight when they take on the Cavaliers in Cleveland. Cleveland is out of the playoffs, but they can play spoiler tonight if they beat the Pacers. If the Pacers lose tonight, they'll be basically out of the playoffs. Milwaukee holds the tiebreaker with Indiana, so if the Pacers lose tonight, it's all over. The Cavs and Pacers tip off at 7 p.m. tonight. The game can be seen on WB4. A few sports notes tonight. Peter Forsberg was cleared to play when the defending Stanley Cup champions Colorado Avalanche opened their first-round playoff series Thursday. Forsberg has been sidelined all season due to foot injuries. Baltimore Ravens owner Art Modell is recovering from a mild heart attack in a California hospital. Modell, who had the heart attack last Friday, is doing excellent, according to his son. And finally, San Francisco 49ers star wide receiver Terrell Owens will be playing basketball this offseason with the USBL Adirondack Wildcats. He plans to donate the majority of his USBL salary to charity. And that is sports. Well, it looks like Owens wants to do something else. You know, he's always fighting with Mariucci, so.
Hey, it's good he's giving back to the kids, right?
Excellent. Doing something at least.
Hey, well, thanks a lot, Corey. Coming up after the break, Michael Henney-Wells will have one last look at tomorrow's forecast.
And one man is putting a lot of heart into a special tin sculptor. Stay tuned.
A man in Maine is using his favorite pastime to keep a legendary Hollywood character alive. Jody Hersey has a story.
It would be string beans or beans, anything like that, vegetable. And this is chicken soup, that's the same thing.
You're not in Kansas, you're in Winthrop, where Roger Doobie is bringing the Tin Man back to life. Roger is a retired Bath iron worker who's keeping busy with the Wizard of Oz.
I started making 1 or 2. Took me all day just to make a couple because cutting my hands all up.
Roger was a bit rusty at first. He knew what it was supposed to look like. After all, with 33 grandchildren, he's seen the movie dozens of times.
This would make an arm, see? I make my hat like this, yeah?
No two look the same.
All the noses are different. If you look at it, some got big nose, some got small nose.
But Doobie says none of his tin men leave the shop until they have their eyes and, of course, their heart.
That's the main thing about the Tin Man. The people watch the heart.
And just like the wizard, Doobie grants that wish. Don't look for the cowardly lion or scarecrow. You won't find them here.
Everybody want me to do the rest of the Tin Man's family there. I'm not interested in that. That's my thing. That's it. See, it makes a difference, you know.
Follow the tin cans and you'll find Roger, where you can get a Tin Man of your own.
Well, The Wizard of Oz has always been my favorite movie, so
It is
I like
a pretty good movie for an older movie. So.
Hey, well, it was real sunny in The Wizard of Oz. Is it going to be sunny in Muncie?
Well, it's going to be pretty sunny tomorrow, but I can't guarantee all Thursday. Clouds will move in tonight for a few upper level. It's a low of 68. Tomorrow, mix of clouds and sun, but there's plenty of sun still. A high of 76 in your 3-day. Late Thursday and early Friday, you have a chance of thunderstorms, and as the cold front moves through, the temperatures are going to start cooling off just a little bit.
Well, thank you, Michael. Well, new tonight on NewsCenter at 9:30. Tonight, the Aero Games will sponsor a basketball tournament. We'll show you who's got game. Also, find out your Ball State Daily News headlines tonight, right here on NewsCenter at 9:30. And thank you for joining us for NewsCenter at 5:30. I'm Nicole Samuelson.
And I'm Jim Vandy. NewsCenter 43 is an official CNN Student Bureau. Be sure to tune in tonight at NewsCenter at 9:30.